Simins from Group 8. I'll be presenting the rise of the Internet and Web 1.0 as part of our group's work on the key milestones of e-learning. In the 1990s, the Internet introduced a major shift in education. This was the Web 1.0 era, often called the read-only web. Educational websites were mainly used to share static content like PDFs and Word documents. Students could view or download materials, but there was little or no interaction. This form of e-learning lacked real-time communication or collaboration, but it set the stage for online course delivery as we know it today. Although Web 1.0 enabled institutions to share learning content online, it had several limitations. It supported mostly one-way communication, that's from the teacher to the student. Basic tools like email and discussion forums were used for feedback, but these were slow and not always effective. There was no real-time collaboration or group interactions. Still, Web 1.0 was important because it paved the way for Web 2.0, which brought much more interactive and social learning experiences. Let's move on to the next major milestone, Learning Management System, or LMS for short. An LMS is a digital platform used to deliver and manage courses. It brings together course content, student tracking, communication tools, and grading all in one place. These systems are widely used in schools, universities, and even in corporate training environments. Some popular LMS platforms include Moodle, Google Classroom, and Blackboard. Their main role is to organize learning and make it easier to access and manage for both students and instructors. LMS platform truly revolutionized e-learning by offering centralized access to all learning materials. Students could take quizzes online, track their grades, and even view progress over time. Tools for student-teacher interactions like messaging, discussion forums, and assignment feedback also improved communication. Mostly, or more importantly, LMS platforms supported blended and remote learning, making it possible to combine face-to-face lessons with digital resources. Overall, they made learning more flexible, organized, and accessible for everyone involved. Now, let's look at some important concepts that define e-learning today. One of the key ideas is the difference between asynchronous and synchronous learning. Asynchronous means learners can access materials and complete tasks at their own pace, while synchronous involves real-time sections like live Zoom classes. We also have blended learning, which combines online lessons with face-to-face interactions. Then there is self-paced learning and mobile learning, where students can learn using phones or tablets everywhere they are. Lastly, microlearning breaks lessons into smaller, digestible parts, and modular content allows students to pick and focus on specific units. Learning models offer a wide range of benefits. First, they allow learners to study anytime, anywhere, making education more accessible than ever. They also support personalized learning paths, where content can be adapted to match each learner's pace, preferences, or performance. These models work well for different learning styles, whether visual, auditory, or hands-on. Finally, e-learning is both cost-effective and scalable, making it possible to train or educate large groups without needing physical classrooms or printed materials. That brings me to the end of my part. I will now hand over to the next presenter from Group 8. Thank you for listening.
You see Efioko, part of the team, and then we are presenting on e-learning. Alright, and I'm talking about misconceptions about e-learning. Now, most people think e-learning is boring. You understand? E-learning is just boring and it's a PowerPoints and videos. But actually, that is not it. E-learning goes way further than just PowerPoints and video. Okay. Modern e-learning includes gamification, simulations, and interactive feedback for a fun learning experience. Let's talk about how come e-learning comes with a lot of activities, a lot of ways, a lot of means to enhance learning. You understand, like gamifications, elements like badges, ladder boards, all these comes in as a form of e-learning. Now, e-learning is only for tech-savvy people. How come? If only you are a tech elite, that is where you participate in e-learning, but that is not so. Most platforms are user-friendly and easy to use, even for beginners. Most e-learning platforms are very easy to use, very easy to navigate. For example, using Moodle app or something like that as part of your class. Google Classroom are all e-learning platforms, and then they are very easy to navigate. You don't have to be a tech expert, okay, to be able to use these e-learning platforms. Again, it says that e-learning can build a sense of community. That is one misconception most people have about e-learning, that e-learning is only limited to text, and so you don't get group works and collaboration among others. But that is not true. You see, online tools like forum, group chats, and virtual meetup promote strong collaboration. You understand? In our current dispensation, in the world we're living in, where students will be at their homes, they will work as a group, make a work. Even these presentations we're doing is a collaborative work from people at various geographical locations. You understand? This debunks that e-learning can build a sense of community. Also, you see that e-learning is too expensive for small businesses. Actually, this is one of the misconceptions. In fact, affordable options are available, and e-learning help reduce training costs over time. Okay, there are various affordable platforms where people can have these e-learning platforms at an easy, or let's say free cost. It depends on you, the person, the tools you want to use, and so it's available for everybody. Understanding this, what are we taking away from this misconception about e-learning? Now, e-learning today is interactive and engaging. Each and everybody has a portion to play, something to do when it comes to e-learning. Now, easy to use platform makes accessible to everyone. E-learning is an easy to use platform. Each and everybody can have access to e-learning. Each and irrespective of who you are is available. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, an internet connection, and then you are in the e-learning platform. It encourages collaboration and communication with online forums, tests, Pinterest, Reddit. All these platforms help people to collaborate, engage. Okay, e-learning saves time and money, making it a smart choice for learning and development. Now, when you are thinking about learning on a wider scale, then I would recommend e-learning for you because it saves your time, it saves your money. Wherever you are, you can engage in e-learning classes, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the cost of it. You understand? Now, we are moving on to another point. This is what is Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is the second generation of the internet. Okay, the first generation focused on just test, but then the 2.0 is the second version, that is where images and interactions was brought in. Okay, now it says that focuses on interaction, not just reading. You understand? The Web 2.0 focuses on interaction and not just reading. It allows the user to create, share, and collaborate. Unlike the Web 2.1, where the main source of information was from the web servers or the creators. You understand? But the 2.0 allowed the user to create, share, and collaborate among things. It turns users into both creators and consumers. This Web 2.0 allow you, the user, to become part and parcel of the learning or the usage of the internet. Okay, you create content and people consume it. The earlier versions like the Facebook, the Twitter, among others, are all forms of Web 2.0. Now, example of Web 2.0 technologies are social media. Social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube are all Web 2.0 technologies. Blogs and wikis, okay, the Wikipedia, the WikiKid, the Wikiforum, all these are part of the Web 2.0 tools. Online forums and community, okay, online forums and community emerged when the internet moved from 1.0 to 2.0. Okay, online forums like blogger.com, Reddit, Pinterest, they are all platforms, GitHub, they are all there. Tools like Google Docs, Zoom, and Padlet. Google Docs is one of the worldwide used document or text editors. We have the Zoom platform, which is for online conferencing and video making. Okay, Padlet. All these are there. They are there to assist each and everyone as example of a Web 2.0 technology or Web 2.0 tools. Now, what is social learning? Social learning is learning by interacting with one another. Okay, and when we talk about social learning, how come you are the learner, you interact with other colleagues of yours to come up with a conclusion. Now, it happens in groups, discussions, or shared activities. With social learning, it focuses on how come discussions and groups plays a vital role. It involves watching, imitating, and practicing together. And as a learner, when it comes to social learning, you watch videos, you imitate people, and you work together. Whatever you've learned, you come up with a conclusion together. That is what social learning. Now, it's often used in both online and face-to-face settings. When it comes to social learning, it's not limited to only how do we call it, or face-to-face. It's online. Okay, with Zoom meeting, panels, online forums, as we discussed earlier, is a form of social learning. Now, example of social learning: group works and study groups. Group works and study groups is one key thing that encourages social learning. Class discussion on work, be it online, be it in person, they are all a form of social learning. Now, watching educational videos together. This comes in as a form of, now you will learn about web2 technology, and then you go online, the social media platforms, you watch the videos together. It's a means of social learning. Now, sharing ideas and asking questions in chatbots. Now, there are so many communities, like you can have stuff like WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok. Currently, is a very strong platform where questions are being answered. Okay, it's a form of social learning. Now, how Web 2.0 supports social learning? Now, social learning, as we know that it is the interaction between people. So how does Web 2.0 support this social learning? Now, it makes learning interactive and collaborative. With Facebook and other platforms, it makes learning interactive and collaborative. Now, tools like Zoom and Google will support real-time discussions. Real-time discussions is a synchronous form of learning where it takes place, feedbacks are given on the spot. Are you understanding? Okay, it says that allows sharing of resources and ideas. Sharing of resources and ideas has become very easy. At the comfort of your home, you just have to tap share, and then you share the tools, you share the documents you want other colleagues to do. Now, with time like Canva, people can collaboratively work on a design from their home. It enables peer-to-peer feedback, okay, where the students among themselves give feedback on the work they've done. Okay, you can see somebody, so you don't have to be there in person. Now, learning happens anytime, anywhere. If you want to learn, you are not limited to only the classroom. You can learn anywhere, anytime you want without any restrictions. So let's come to a conclusion about this. Now, to summarize everything, Web 2.0 and social learning helps learners connect and grow together. The learners connect and grow. They learn from each other. You understand? It makes education more fun, flexible, and engaging. Web 2.0 makes learning very engaging. Trust me, it's a very nice way. You go online, there are various educative videos out there, which when you attend to as a group, broadens up your scope on the subject you're learning on. It encourages students to learn from each other. You understand? When you are working on something, or you may have a knowledge on one aspect, but it's limited or not up to the standard from your colleague, from your mates, you are able to learn from each other. Now, it prepares learners from a connected world. With Web 2.0, it prepares learners from all aspects of life. Now, there are various platforms like Khan Academy, Udemy, Harvard University publishing online courses for students, some free, some paid. It connects learners from all over the world. You understand? And so understanding this would help us appreciate the advancement of technology, and then got to know that Web 2.0 has come to stay. It's helping learners and educators as a whole, and we must embrace it.
We are Group 8. Meet the team. Mercy, Christine, Imoro, Daniel. You're looking at Introduction to E-Learning. E-learning has transformed education through technology and innovation. It began with distance learning, then it went through Web 1.0, LMS, and mobile platforms. Web 2.0 enabled collaboration, then it was also supported by AI. It also covered some key concepts. Let's look at the early phase of the distance education. So the distance learning was also known as correspondence education. In there, students receive materials by mail. They print and complete whatever they need to do and return them for grading. Then also in the early 1950s, University of London offered external degrees, and the tools they used were letters, printed materials, radio, then television. The purpose of this early distance learning was to make education accessible to people in the rural and remote areas. Even with this, it had its own limitations. So learning was slow and communication was mostly one way. Then we looked at introduction to computers in education. In the 1960s and 1970s, universities also began using the mainframe computers. This marked the beginning of digital learning in education. We also look at personal computers in school, how they came about. So in the 1980s and 90s, personal computers were introduced to the classrooms. So your subjects like typing, mathematics, and science were taught with these machines. With this, it helped during lesson time. Lesson became more interactive. People were able to learn at their own pace. Even with this, there was limitation. The the computers were so expensive and it wasn't available for everyone. Then you have mobile learning and its impact. So mobile learning uses smartphones and tablets to allow learning anywhere at any time. The challenges that we had was the screen was smaller, getting data was expensive, and even the device, getting access to the device was also something else.